Admiral Zethkar's four eyes narrowed as he studied the tactical display from the bridge of the Korthani dreadnought voids. Wrath. The holographic projection showed the human colony world of Kepler 442b hanging like a blue jewel against the star field, seemingly defenseless. His mandibles clicked in satisfaction. "Fleet status report," he commanded, his voice a guttural rasp that made his bridge crew flinch. "All 847 vessels report ready for bombardment, Admiral," replied his tactical officer, a nervous Vrillax whose feathers had gone pale with anxiety. The humans appear to have no orbital defenses, no battle stations, no minefields. Zethkar's laugh was like grinding metal. For 3 cycles, the Galactic Concordat had demanded tribute from the upstart human species. For 3 cycles, humanity had refused. How the Korthani hegemony would make an example of them that would echo across 1,000 worlds. Pitiful, he sneered. Intelligence reports suggested these humans were warriors, yet they send nothing to defend their precious colony. The communications officer's dorsal spine suddenly erected in alarm.
"Admiral!"
Single contact emerging from the planet's shadow. It's just one ship." Zethkar's amusement deepened. One ship against his armada? The hubris was almost insulting. "Put it on screen." The main viewer shifted, zooming in on the approaching vessel. Zethkar's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, trying to process what he was seeing. The ship was unlike anything in the Concordat databases, sleek where others were bulky, smooth where others bristled with weapons. It was perhaps 300 meters long, dwarfed by even his smallest frigates. "Are they surrendering?" asked the tactical officer. "Unknown, sir. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, but it's just music?" Indeed, strange harmonies filled the bridge. Complex, layered sounds that seemed to resonate in ways that made Zethkar's carapace tingle uncomfortably. He had heard of human music, but experiencing it was unsettling. "Ignore their primitive noise. What are their weapon signatures?" The tactical officer's feathers went completely white. "Sir, we're not detecting any conventional weapons. No plasma batteries, no kinetic accelerators, no missile pods, nothing." "Then what?" The human ship suddenly accelerated, moving faster than should have been possible for a vessel its size. It streaked past the forward elements of Zethkar's fleet, weaving between dreadnoughts and cruisers with impossible precision. "All ships, open fire," Zethkar roared. The void erupted in deadly light. Hundreds of vessels unleashed their fury, plasma beams that could melt asteroids, kinetic rounds that could shatter moons, guided warheads that could track prey across star systems. The volume of fire was enough to sterilize a small planet. The human ship danced through it all, not dodged, danced. It moved like liquid mercury, flowing around incoming fire with movements so fluid they seemed almost organic. Energy beams passed through spaces it had occupied microseconds before. Missiles detonated harmlessly against its wake. "How are they doing this?" Zethkar demanded, his mandibles clicking rapidly in agitation. "Sir, their ship. It's not just moving in 3 dimensions. Our sensors are detecting spatial distortions around their hull. They're somehow manipulating local space-time to..." The human ship suddenly stopped, hanging motionless in the center of Zethkar's formation. For a moment, the only sound was the strange, haunting music that continued to fill their communications channels. Then the ship began to sing. It started as a low harmonic felt more than heard. The bridge crew looked around nervously as their instruments began to fluctuate. The harmonic deepened, joined by others, creating a complex resonance that seemed to penetrate their very bones. "What's happening to our ships?" Zethkar's voice cracked as he watched his tactical display. Across his fleet, vessels were changing. Hull plating was shifting, rearranging itself in patterns that hurt to look at. Weapons were retracting into their mounts. Engine signatures were fluctuating wildly. The tactical officer's voice was barely a whisper. "Admiral, the human ship isn't using conventional weapons. It's using some kind of harmonic manipulation field. It's restructuring our ships at the molecular level, turning our own hulls against us." A frigate on the fleet's periphery suddenly folded in on itself like origami, its hull plates rearranging until the ship resembled a metallic flower. Its crew was evacuated in escape pods, unharmed but clearly shaken. "Sir, incoming transmission from the human vessel," reported the communications officer. On screen, a human face appeared, young-looking by their species standards, with calm dark eyes and an expression of patient authority. When she spoke, her voice carried the same harmonic undertones as their ship's song. I am Captain Elena Vasquez of the Earth Defense Corps Vessel Resonance. Admiral Zethkar, your fleet has 3 minutes to begin withdrawal from this system before we escalate our response. Zethkar's mandibles spread wide in fury. You dare threaten me with one ship? I command nearly 1,000 vessels. Captain Vasquez tilted her head slightly, and her ship's song shifted to a different key. Throughout his fleet, more vessels began transforming, some folding into geometric sculptures, others elongating into impossible spirals. None were destroyed, but all were effectively neutralized. Admiral, she said with maddening calm, you're thinking in terms of conventional warfare, kinetic force, energy weapons, explosive yields. But humanity learned something during our integration with quantum harmonics. Sometimes the most effective weapon isn't one that destroys, but one that transforms. Another wave of harmonic resonance pulsed out from the resonance, and this time Zethkar felt his own ship responding. The deck plates beneath his feet began to hum, and he watched in horror as his weapon controls started reconfiguring themselves. 2 minutes, Admiral. Zethkar looked at his fleet, what remained of it that still resembled warships. Some had been turned into abstract art installations. Others had been reshaped into what looked like musical instruments, their hulls now resonating with the resonance's song. His crews were safe, but his armada was effectively useless. All ships, he growled into his communicator, his pride ashes in his mouth. Begin withdrawal. As his transformed fleet limped away from Kepler 442b, Zethkar heard Captain Vasquez's voice one last time. Admiral, please inform the Concordat that humanity is no longer interested in their tribute demands. We've moved beyond the need for conventional responses to conventional threats. The resonance watched them go, its song gradually fading to a gentle melody that somehow conveyed both warning and invitation. A promise that humanity had evolved beyond the crude mathematics of violence into something far more sophisticated and far more dangerous. In the depths of space, one ship had faced down 1,000, not through superior firepower but through a fundamental reimagining of what warfare could be. The fleet had expected a battle. Instead, they had encountered art.